As China and the United States ramp up trade tensions, the list of losers appears to far outweigh the winners.
On Wednesday, the U.S. announced it would impose 25% duties on $50 billion worth of imports from China.
China quickly retaliated by listing $50 billion worth of products that it could hit with its own 25% tariffs.
That followed a separate announcement from Beijing that it would impose import duties on $3 billion worth of U.S. goods in response to the Trump administration's duties on all steel and aluminum imports, including from China.
It has fueled fears of a protracted trade war, something which former Treasury Department official Christine McDaniel points out could be bad news for everyone.
If these tariff threats escalate and actually materialize, then it's not only going to be a lose-lose for China and the United States.
It will be a lose-lose-lose. China, the United States and the world economy, she said. Here are some of the U.S. companies and sectors that may be better or worse off because of the tariffs.
The losers.
Car companies.
Consumers are much more reliant on imports than Chinese consumers.
So we'll see that inflation. We'll see in, consumer goods.
Boeing and industrials.
The Chinese list of goods that will be hit with a 25% tariff also included aircraft up to 45 tons in weight. Documents from China's Ministry of Commerce and aircraft manufacturer Boeing Company showed the move would affect some older Boeing narrow-body models.
It was not immediately clear how much the tariffs would impact its newer aircraft. The company already saw its shares fall as a result, along with fellow manufacturing company 3M. Boeing said it was assessing the situation, while analysts from J.P. Morgan said the proposals from China look to have been calibrated carefully to avoid a major impact on the plane maker. Tech companies tied with China.
China's position as an assembly hub for electronic devices makes it the biggest consumer of semiconductors.
It also means the U.S. technology sector will not escape unscathed from a potential trade war, especially companies that have Chinese factories.
Currently, that includes tech giant Apple, which would face higher supply costs as a result of the tariffs.
Whiskey.
It was the only spirit China signaled out for more tariffs.
Why just whiskey?
The Distilled Spirits Council said U.S. whiskey accounted for nearly 70% of the total U.S. spirits exported to China, by value, in 2017.
The council asked the U.S. and China to reach a resolution without subjecting U.S. whiskey to more tariffs, which it said would harm Chinese consumers, its hospitality sector and U.S. whiskey exporters. U.S. farmers and chemical makers.
particularly those that sell soybeans. DowDuPont Incorporated, one of the world's largest chemical companies, said its agriculture unit could be affected by the escalating conflict, warning about price declines for soybeans.
Grain traders Archer Daniels Midland Company and Bunge Limited, both of which trade U.S. soybeans in China, are also expected to cop a hit.
Farming equipment maker Deere has seen its shares drop by nearly $10 as this dispute has escalated, and it has urged the U.S. and China to limit uncertainty for farmers and avoid meaningful disruptions to agricultural trade.
The American Chemistry Council, ACC, which counts Exxon, Chevron, Monsanto and others as its members, urged the United States and China to come to an understanding. Engaging in a trade war with one of our country's most significant trading partners is not the answer, ACC Chief Executive Officer Cal Dooley said.
The winners. Meat processors.
While the price of soybeans going down is bad news for farmers, U.S. meat processors and exporters have been given a boost. The new tariffs mean that feedstock soybeans will be cheaper. U.S. meat processor Tyson Foods Incorporated and meat exporter Hormel Foods Corp saw their share prices rise on the news of the tariffs.
Chinese consumers.
Tu Xingqin, director of WTO studies at the University of International Business and Economics in Beijing, said China has been very careful in picking U.S. products that can be replaced.
China has made meticulous efforts in deciding the list of the products to make sure the impact on China's economy is controllable, he said.